Daniel
Tigers,
is, and it was actually over there where the concession
Bulldogs,
stand was. But we went
Saints.
all through.
Welcome to DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
To Dr. John L. VanHooser Memorial Stadium at DeKalb County High School for today's edition of DC Blitz. Pardon me, I'm on my phone because I'm trying to share over to the Blitz page, and I'm just all kinds of dysfunctional this morning. Kelly brought muffins. Coach, you had a big game last night. How's everybody doing today?
Doing great, Kelly. Thanks for the muffins.
Yep.
They're good. They're large.
Yeah.
But they're good. Thank you.
I cooked them all the way from Sam's.
Yeah, she was slaving over a hot Sam's counter to get those muffins this morning. We appreciate it. Got a busy show today. Next segment, we're going to be talking to Tim Wilson, Cole Parsley, and Caden Hunt. DeKalb Junior Pro actually recorded that segment a little earlier this morning because, well, Junior Pro's having their season finale today, and Tim's going to be out there coaching a little bit. And we've watched Junior Pro over the years, Coach, and the kids, they love it. They just go out there and have a good time, but they're learning the fundamentals of football.
You and I have both been in Casey's, seat right now. We've broadcast these games or done the PA for these games, and it's an all-day affair. By the time you've played 3 games, and it's like tailgating or whatever, but to watch these kids and the excitement that they have and the pureness of the level of this football, it's just remarkable to watch. It's a blessing, to get to do that, and it's just an event that I'm glad we're here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about coming out for a couple of weeks, and we decided to wait till the last week of the regular season. They'll get playoffs underway next week. And, I love what we've been able to see over the years with everything kind of lining up. When I say lining up, the way, the style of football that DeKalb County plays. And it starts at the high school level, but we're teaching it on the middle school level and on down to junior pro. But again, you got to start with the fundamentals and kind of getting the kids used to the game. And that's something I'm going to talk to Tim and Cole about. The things that these kids are learning. You want to go out there and get wins, Coach, but at the end of the day, it's kind of all about learning the proper way to do things and teaching safety in the game. That's such a big deal now, and it needs to be.
It is, and you talk about starting the kids off at a young age. You have to make it fun.
Yes.
We're still going to teach fundamentals. We still want to win. We want that prize, that trophy at the end of the day. But you still have to make it fun so these kids will want to play, and they'll want to get out there. And sometimes if you're a larger kid, it may not be something that you want to do. But in football, especially, it takes all kinds of basketball. You can't play with all the short little mini people. You've got to have some tall people. And in football, you've got to have some of those larger bodies up front, and they make big money too.
Well, let's talk about junior pro basketball. And again, it kind of the same thing, Kelly. Is that what it's all about, kind of teaching the fundamentals? And what's some of the maybe more difficult things about teaching the young kids that are just holding a ball for the first time?
Well, it's I hate to say it. These kids do not get out and play like we did as kids. I can remember when it was football season, we played football. And the girl, Casey, Agee, and I, we played with the boys. And sometimes it was tackle football. Usually that was at somebody's house in the afternoon after school. But these kids are lacking getting out and playing every day with other kids, and so we're having to really, as far as like a junior high coach, I really depend on junior pro to have these kids where they can at least dribble and kind of know what offense and defense is, because if you're having to teach that to a 5th or 6th grader, you're already behind the 8 ball because of our county being smaller and only having the 2 schools with basketball teams. I know, like in Smith County, they have a kindergarten and 1st grade league. They have a 2nd grade, and they have 5 county schools. So those county schools, they play at their school for 5 weeks. Those kids are getting all kinds of chances to play, and this is great. I've saw several of my students today, and I let them play in PE. In PE, we play some football. I have to monitor quite a bit, and I have to explain a lot of rules. And we play baseball, and we play basketball. We can't do basketball as much, just not as much room. What?
You have to explain a lot of rules?
Well,
you've always preached a lack of knowledge and you know rules?
What? No. It's okay, so you've got the 3 kids that play football, and they know 50% of the rules that their coach yells, and then they want to yell that at the other kids, and I'm like, no, that's not what they're talking about. That's not. They're like, offsides. I'm like, all of y'all are offsides. I was like, 2 of your kids are over here. I was like, they had never come back from the run. I was like, what are y'all talking about? Well, he was. I'm like, we can't just pick on one kid, guys. And I do that with like 6th and 7th grade sometimes. The other day, I pulled my 7th grader aside, and I was like, look, if we're not rushing, you can't be in his face. I was like, if he calls no rushing, you can't rush. We don't have blockers. They were playing baseball the other day. They were leading off. I was like, you cannot lead off. We don't have a catcher. We're not. So these kids take some of these rules they learn in rec ball, and they try to apply them to everybody else that doesn't always have the chance to play rec ball or junior pro football. So this is great. This is feeding. I'm sure the Poteet brothers appreciate these kids knowing something before they come to him.
I was actually looking at the stream. Justin Poteet was the first person, I think, that logged in to watch the show this morning. So we're talking about your future players coming up here. And this junior team is 5-0 this year. The younger ones in the senior group, they've struggled a little bit this year. But this junior group they're having a great year, and there's some good kids. And, I love seeing the excitement of football. Love seeing the community get behind it, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna talk about that coming up next segment. And y'all gonna love Caden. He is something else, and you got to wait around for his Tennessee-Oklahoma prediction. It's a doozy.
Well, it was a couple of weeks ago that Casey was talking about how this junior Tigers is in line with the 18, with the 24 Saints, and that's the next group. So I'm excited to see these kids.
Coming up the bottom of the hour, we're going to talk volleyball for the first time this season. We've got assistant coach Kayla Johnson and some members of the DCHS Lady Tiger volleyball team. I don't know a lot about volleyball, so Kelly, we're going to rely heavily on you for that segment because Coach and I are a little,
I've watched a lot of volleyball and played some. We played in intramurals in college, so I feel like I can ask good questions.
Okay, good, because we will not.
I'm not afraid to claim ignorance.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, y'all are going to learn. I learned, we did the cast the other day, and I learned so many things about football that I did not know. And y'all are going to learn so many things about volleyball now.
By the way, that's Casey Midge in the background. If you can, I'm sure you can hear him because I can't hear Kelly over Casey.
Junior or
Pee-wee Tigers.
Pee-wee Tigers. Touchdown.
Yeah. So, hey, that's awesome. I think that's probably one of their first ones they've scored. They haven't had a lot of success, but they're young, and they're. I mean, you know.
Indeed. And don't forget, later on in the episode, we will have the announcement of this week's Good Health Family Clinic Student Athlete of the Week. We'll announce that. And, of course, we're going to talk about what's coming up in the week ahead. Right now, let's recap the week behind us. Thursday night, we had a chance to be here at the VanHooser Stadium for the middle school's conference semifinal playoff victory over Fentress County. And there's a possibility that we're going to be in Cookeville Thursday night for the championship game. It's not set in stone yet, but we may be there as the Saints take on Avery Trace. And, hey, I'm ready. If we get the chance, I hope we do.
Calendar's clear. Ready to go.
Ready to go. So
I can cancel basketball practicing.
So stay. Of course, follow us on Facebook, the DC Blitz, and we'll keep you up to date on that. And of course, all sports DeKalb County. But another great win for the Saints, and they had to earn it Thursday night. It wasn't easy. Fentress County, Kelly, they played tough. They hung right in there. The Saints got a 2-score lead. Fentress came right back. That's one of those cases they really had to work hard and earn it.
I was quite nervous. I have seen several of their games, and they had just been running away with it. And I was like, oh man, this is going to be, you always hit that game. I've heard basketball coaches talk about they don't care to lose in the conference tournament because if you're on a big winning streak, you need that loss to get the kids hungry again. And I was like, oh man, please don't let this be their loss that they get this year. Because they are hungry and they were doing well. And I think York did a great job of preparing. It's like one of the Poteet brothers, I can't remember which one, he was talking about that they have picked up on Gavin, and they really did. Gavin did not get a lot of yards. I've seen him in the past few games get a lot of touchdowns, a lot of yards. They didn't get that, but Colin picked up, Reed picked up, Keegan had a big interception.
Yep.
We had a fumble recovery. Number 50, he's one of the S's.
Soto.
Yes.
Okay, I don't have them in school, so I don't know them. I know my kids, but the kids that my sons play ball with and my basketball kids. So I thought they did an excellent job of fighting back because they had to fight.
Yeah, that offensive line, you mentioned the S's, and Coach, you were big on them going into the game, and I love that offensive line. I thought Steve Trapp's got to be excited to get those kids up because that's a great group, and they play some good fundamental football, and they've been huge all season long.
They're not big boned, they're just big.
Yeah.
They do not look like your typical 350-pound offensive lineman, and of course they're middle school, so they're not.
Sure, yeah.
But when you have that many skill players, it's not by accident. They are athletes, but you've got a group up front that's really paving the way and creating those holes. And that S group, they did just a fabulous job all season long. They continue to do that, and it's rare. The offensive line, defensive line do not get enough accolades. It's all the skinnies.
Yeah.
It's the skinnies that score the touchdowns and get the high mom and the TV time. So I really wanted to reach out to those guys and we are paying attention. We're seeing the job that you're doing, the work that
Sure.
you're doing, and they've paved the way.
Well, you talk to Colin and you talk to Gavin and the kids Reed that are making the plays. They'll tell you right away it's that offensive line that makes it go, and they've been fantastic all season long. Coach, you were in Gordonsville last night. The DeKalb County Tigers shook off a 7-0 deficit early on, and a big night again for Jordan Parker. Ryan Lyons catches 3 touchdowns. 5-0 as they come back and win at 35-21. Your thoughts on the game?
I thought I was back at the middle school game because I think we had 6 total possessions, 3 in the first half, and the quarters were so short. Gordonsville won the toss. They won the football, and in 9 minutes, they held on to the football, and they go down and they score a touchdown. And DeKalb looks up, and the quarter's almost over, and they're just now getting their first touch. I think both schools finished with 7 total possessions for the entire ball game.
Wow.
It was one of those where they were more content to run the ball. That was Gordonsville's game plan going in. That first drive for Gordonsville was pretty much it for the first half. They had a kickoff return that closed the gap to 21-14. Stout defense by DeKalb County. After that opening drive, they started forcing, punts in bad situations for Gordonsville. And the offense, again, we talk about so many weapons, and if you're going to shut down Ketchum and you're going to shut down Park, which I think they finished 130-something yards for the night total, both of them combined, then it's through the air. And it was Hendricks with like 88 receiving yards. Lyons had 3 touchdowns, and all of them were 20 yards or better.
Yeah.
So DeKalb has a number of ways of beating you, and last night they proved 35-21. If you're going to shut down our run game, we'll go over the top, and then we're happy with that.
5-0, and I think a lot of people underestimated DeKalb County coming into the season. Are you surprised that they're 5-0 just based on what you knew coming into the season?
We stereotype, we profile. These are going to be good and tough games for them, and we base our knowledge off of history because we're really not in tight. We're not in the huddle of those schools and what they've lost or what they do. But you look at this schedule in Warren County, a 6A school.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough one, and the coaches all said that's going to be a tough one. Then they go to Smith County. Now, Smith County returned, they lost a ton of players, so they're rebuilding everywhere, but it's still Smith County, and you go to the hole, and it's like, man, we're going to have to play good.
Yeah.
And then Watertown has always been good. So you come back, and it's like, hey, Watertown, Livingston's been down recently, so you kind of think, okay, maybe we still have the upper hand there. And then you go on the road, Turney Ford Field, and you face a 4-0 1A. Mm-hmm. Throw it out the window.
Sure.
A 4-0 Gordonsville school, and DeKalb played a much cleaner football game, and that's the reason they won.
Yeah.
If they had had the mistakes that Gordonsville had, we'd be talking about a different outcome in a 4-1 Tigers team instead of a 5-0. But those guys played to a very mature level. They protected the football. They bounced back and made adjustments defensively, and were able to close out Gordonsville for most of the rest of the ball game.
It gets serious starting next Friday night, though. Stone Memorial, and let's just put it out there. It's a playoff game because the top 4 go, and a couple of teams are going to be sitting at home. I think you got 2 teams that are going to be fighting in that 3-4 range. If Upperman's the cream of the crop and Macon County's right there, of course, you still got to prove it on the field, but Stone Memorial comes in. That's one of those teams with DeKalb County is going to be fighting for a playoff spot. Coach, that to me is a playoff game basically coming up Friday night.
It's essentially 5 schools that are trying for 4 spots. And you talk about Upperman, they're sitting at 2-0. DeKalb's 1-0. Macon's 0-1, but they lost to Upperman in a very tight ball game, so they're sitting down at the bottom, but they're going to come on up.
Sure.
White County is also one of those schools that's in there that's really good. Stone Memorial, who DeKalb will play Friday night, and then DeKalb County, because Livingston and Cumberland County, they've kind of been faltered, not quite ready for this type of competition, and they're just not there yet. They're not established programs. Livingston used to be. They're just not. So this is one of the key games, I would say. And I've got DeKalb going in as a 3 or 4 seed. And if they win Friday night, I think that almost assures them at least a 4 seed and playoffs, so they could punch their ticket as early as Friday night.
And Stone Memorial's always tough. It's always been a dogfight with DeKalb and Stone Memorial. It's always a tough, grinded out, gritty, kind of ugly game. I kind of expect that. But, we need to pack the house Friday night here at VanHooser Stadium because it's going to be a huge game with DeKalb County and Stone Memorial. I had a chance to go over to Claperic Field last night. Check out the middle school soccer team. The Lady Saints fell behind early. A penalty kick for Smith County got them up 1-0 early on, but DeKalb came back, and they dominated the rest of the game. They win 3-1, and Justin Noakes celebrated his 36th birthday with a victory last night. And big win for the Lady Saints as they get set. They've got one more regular season match Tuesday at Jackson County, and then their postseason tournament starts. And honestly, it was the first time I've had a chance to watch a middle school soccer match, and it was fun. I mean, they got a good team, scrappy team.
Yeah!
Casey, don't get too excited, does he?
That's 2.
That's 2. But, I don't know. Chris, I know, you had kids that played soccer. Kelly, I don't know how much you've been familiar with the sport itself. I'm still learning about it. But, man, I tell you what, these kids, how they go throughout the course. And, Chris, like I said, you've watched it. This team is fun to watch. And I think Coach K, he's got to be excited. Some girls coming up that's got some real talent.
They do, and it's a lot like what Poteet talks about and Steve Trapwell, where your middle school is going to feed and do. This soccer program from Coach K is from the top down through Rec League. Coach K will have 2 or 3 teams that he coaches in Rec League. Noakes does the same thing. I'm not sure if Cameron does any of that, but they know these kids from 6, 7 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And so this group has played together for a long time. Now, what DeKalb Middle School may be running formation-wise is probably not the same thing, but as far as terminology, as far as skill, as far as drills, work ethic, Tiger pride kind of thing that Coach Trapp has, all of that's instilled at a very early age. And Coach Noakes and Coach Cameron are doing a great job of getting these kids ready. And a lot of what goes on with your soccer is how good your goalkeeper is. You have to have somebody that can put it in the net. You have to have somebody that can keep it out of the net. Yep. And Coach Noakes has that. Indeed,
and the goalkeeper, matter of fact, she didn't have much of an eventful night other than the penalty kick. Most of the game was played on the Saints' offensive side of the field. They're now 6-1-3. They have 21 points. That moved them into 3rd place in the conference standings last night, and we'll have more details coming up on their postseason tournament after the match coming up on Tuesday. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk a little junior pro. Tim Wilson, Cole Parsley, and Caden Hunt's going to join us. Stay with us. This is DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
It seems like the cost of everything is on the rise, but Erie Insurance can help make sure your auto insurance premium isn't one of them. Avoid rate increases with Erie Rate Lock. Even if you have a claim, your rates won't go up until you change a car, driver, or address.
Your Erie agent is DeKalb County Insurance. Get a quote today at DeKalbInsurance.net.
Erie Rate Lock is not available in all states. Other conditions and limitations at ErieInsurance.com. Go to ErieInsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
When closing on a new home or piece of property, you want the process to be as smooth as possible. For almost 20 years, DeKalb Title LLC has been helping new property owners in Smithville and DeKalb County through that process promptly and efficiently. As your trusted title expert and closing company, they believe buying or selling real estate should be a joyous occasion, and their team does everything possible to keep it that way. DeKalb Title works to make sure your transaction gets to the closing table and your new property is secure for years to come. Let DeKalb Title help you close and protect your residential, commercial, or new construction transaction today. Call 615-597-2303 or visit them online at DeKalbTitle.com.
The owner and many technicians at Home Surveillance have a background in law enforcement, so we understand your concern for your family's safety and your business need for security. Home Surveillance provides sales and installation of security cameras, home theater and surround sound, church and business live streaming, networking solutions, new construction pre-wiring, and more. Visit our website for more information, homesurveillance.com, or give us a call at 615-597-6287.
At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that this life is a journey filled with highs and lows. Just as every game has its final whistle, so too does every life have its final moment. When that time comes, Love Cantrell Funeral Home would love the opportunity to earn your trust. We provide compassionate care and professional services to fit your family's financial needs. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding comfort in the time of sudden loss, we're here to support you every step of the way. Love Cantrell Funeral Home has been a proud sponsor of all DeKalb County athletics for over 65 years. Love Cantrell Funeral Home, where love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Smithville FBC is proud to support DC Blitz and all DeKalb sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Bad Boy Mowers is giving back to all those that risk their lives to protect and defend our nation. Our Bad Boys of America Zero Turns for Our Heroes program is available for a limited time at Bad Boys Nationwide Dealer Network. Qualified buyers, that's veterans, active duty military, first responders, EMTs, firefighters, and law enforcement, receive up to 25% off MSRP on all Bad Boy mower models. And some really cool Bad Boy Mower swag. Find your big boy mower at Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville. Visit them online at southernlandscapesupply.com.
Looking for the perfect property? Town and Lake Realty and Auction is your #1 choice when it comes to DeKalb County real estate. Specializing in lakefront properties, land, and residential real estate, we offer both traditional real estate services and innovative online, live, and simulcast auctions. With over $250 million in closed volume, we're the largest locally owned brokerage firm in the area, providing superior resources, advertising, and expertise. For the best in real estate, trust Town and Lake Realty and Auction to deliver exceptional results. Discover the difference today by visiting townandlake.com or calling 615-215-7653.
Since 2015, Vitality Fit has had a passion to help any individual at many different stages in their fitness journey reach the level of health and wellness that they desire. With the multiple different services we now offer, from group training to personal training to even nutrition, you can find a service that best fits you and your goals. We have a speed and agility camp coming up August 17th through September 22nd for middle school and high school athletes to enhance their on-field performance. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram or our website, vitalityfittn.com, or you can reach us by email, vitalityfit.tc@gmail. We'd love to hear from you, and we want to help you reach your fitness goals.
DC Blitz presented by DeKalb County Insurance. We're set to talk a little DeKalb Junior Pro this morning. I'm joined by League President Tim Wilson. We've got Cole Parsley, and we've got Caden Hunt. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Are we ready for a big day at Junior Pro here?
Yep.
We're ready to throw it at them.
I think Caden's ready to go play right now.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. I can tell by the look on his face he's ready to go hit somebody. So Tim is the president, of course, of the league, and Tim, this is the last home game of the season, last regular season game.
It is.
It's kind of like this season's come and gone really quick.
It has. It's flown by. It just has.
Yeah. So what are some takeaways from the season, some things that you've seen that have gone well for the league this season, and maybe some things that you're still working on?
Well, I'm coaching the Pee-wees this year, so for the Pee-wees, we haven't won a whole lot, but yet the improvement for them, for this age group, has just been tremendous. We've still got plenty of support, which is great. Cole is actually one of our vice presidents, and he's help coaching the juniors age group, and they're doing phenomenal work. and it's hard to say.
It's all about development at this age, right?
Yes.
I mean,
I'm a loss for words right now.
You know, people put a lot of emphasis on wins and losses.
They do
at this age, but this is a lot about teaching fundamentals of the game, right?
Yes. It's don't get me wrong. A kid loves to see the score, look at the scoreboard, and be like, "Oh, yes, we're winning." But what I see is the improvements. I mean, I had a ref come up to me last Saturday. He said, "Tim, I coached your ref your first game." He said, "You look pretty rough." I said, "Well, I tell you what. We've been working really hard. You tell me what it looks like after this game." He come up to me and said, "Man, 100% improvement, 100%. And that's what you want. I mean, you have young kids, young minds who are learning this stuff, and when they go up to the line and they see an opponent bigger than them and it doesn't bother them, they're going to run through them anyways. That's what it's about, really. I mean, just the confidence level comes up, the skill level comes up, and it just comes together. Eventually, it will come together for a win. Hopefully, we'll get that win today.
When you start with the Pee-wees, I mean, this is the first time they're getting any taste of football. What's the first thing that you really try to teach these kids?
I try to work on their mindset because, you know, as a parent, you grow up, you don't want to, you tell your kids not to hit people.
Right.
You know, football is contact.
Yeah.
And when you try to get them to understand that it's okay to go up and just push a kid down, you know, it's a mindset you got to break. And then you tell them, you're not trying to hurt them. It's football. You got to break it down for them to understand. And that can be difficult sometimes because every kid's mentality is different.
Yeah.
It just is.
Cole, we're going to talk on the junior level now. That's the next step up. And going from where Tim's group is to just basic fundamentals, when you get them to the junior group, what are you adding on to that?
So I would say for the Pee Wee level, one of the advantages of Pee Wee is the coach gets to be on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's a rule because the coach needs to be on the field.
Yes, they do.
Their attention span is so low. But when you get to the junior level, that's when you can start really adding multiple formations to an offense.
Yeah.
Multiple tags to your play calling. And for me, at least, it's a lot of fun seeing the kids grow that we had in Pee Wee.
Yeah.
Mentally. The mental side of the game, seeing their growth. So just what they can handle mentally. And I guess what they can do physically as well. Mostly with throwing the ball.
Yeah.
That improves.
Cole, as a former player, how do you transition what you know and learned as a player into coaching and teaching what you know to the kids?
Man, I think I could talk all day about that. For the most part, because I've coached at the middle school level in DeKalb. I've coached at the high school level at DeKalb. I played for 12 years.
Yeah.
Since the first grade. So junior pro means a lot to me. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of lessons there. The biggest thing for me, though, is taking the high school system, the play call, the calls there, the techniques that's taught at that level, and then bringing it to the junior pro level is important.
All right, let's have some fun because you guys are 5-0, and I know y'all have had a great season so far. What about this team makes it special this year?
They can do it all. Open field tackling, O-line. We'll say O-line because the O-line has grown tremendously from last year to this year. We got a great offensive line coaches with Conrad, Will Key, and Bowen.
Yeah.
And then separate from the O-line is our ability to pass the ball. And Caden Hunt right here has done an amazing job.
He has.
He's every game he catches at least one touchdown pass. So it's been fun.
Oh, man.
I just want to throw in something, and I don't know if he's figured this out, but me and Nathan Shepard, the other coach, was talking about it the other day. So 2 years ago, Nathan and Cole were coaching the Pee-wees, and they went undefeated, went to the Super Bowl and won it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, 2 years later, last year that group kind of got split up because of birthdays and ages, and this group has come back together now, and they're dominating.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
So the senior coaches have something to look forward to as well because this group's coming on up.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Caden, it's time to talk some football, man. How excited are you about today's regular season finale?
Really excited.
So you're catching about a touchdown a game, right?
Yeah.
What's that feeling like when you get to the end zone, man? Describe that.
Yeah. It's like a exciting, like, I just scored, like you're in shock, kind of like, how did I just score and you're happy and stuff.
Caden, what do you and your teammates talk about maybe the camaraderie, the friendships that you have, and kind of what bonds your group together?
Well, our like bond is like our sip can be rude sometimes, and like it's a bad play, and then somebody don't do their job.
Yeah.
But it's really nice. Sip and our bond very good.
Who's the leader, you think, of your team?
My quarterback.
What's his name?
Gunner Shepard.
What makes him a good leader on the field?
He throws darts and he does this good blocking and stuff.
He does his job, huh?
Yeah.
He does his. Is that one thing your team? Everybody does their job well.
Yeah.
You think that makes this team special because everybody really goes out and does their job well?
Yeah.
Talk about your offensive line. Coach Parsley was talking about how good they are. What do you think about this offensive line?
They're very good, and I hope they're very good, and if they get better, nobody's going to stop us.
That's right.
Do they have an attitude, like a real tough attitude?
Yeah.
So we're going out against Cumberland County today, I guess the Junior Jets. What do you know about this team? You know much about them?
They're 0-5.
So when you look at a team that's 0-5, do you take them lightly, or you still go out there and play
I still go hard.
You go hard regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Do you play defense too, or just offense?
I play punt, return, kick off, punt. I play everything.
No, you just do it all. What do you like best?
Offense.
Offense?
Scoring touchdowns.
I like kickoff return too, because I know I'm going to score today on kickoff.
Who's your favorite player, pro or college? You have one?
College.
You got a favorite college player? Somebody you really like?
Probably.
Got to think about that.
Yeah.
What about team? You got a favorite team?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. I gotta like a young man that likes Tennessee. You got to go big orange.
You got to do that.
What are you hoping to continue playing football? Play middle school and high school?
I'm hoping I'll get some offers.
All right. Well, hey, man. All right. Don't sign an agent just yet. You got to hold off on that. But I see big things coming up for Mr. Caden Hunt. Tim, the support, and I've followed Junior Pro for a long time in DeKalb County. The support seems to be great, and that's withstood the test of time. Mm-hmm. Talk about that, the parental support, the support of the community, and just how much you do get from that.
Well, I say support, but, I mean, we are kind of self-supporting, but yet if there's anything I need, I can go to Coach Trapp and talk to him about stuff. He helps us out a lot.
Yeah.
Justin Poteets has helped us out in the past. So, I mean, I go the football route, if you know what I mean, and I've not had I'm sorry, I'm tongue-tied. They haven't told me no yet, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now they've had, well, how about we do it this way? Okay, yeah, let's do that. You know, but, I mean, I've talked to Steve Trapp multiple times, he looks at it as we're feeding his program.
Sure.
And so we try to, well, like Cole said, he's already trying to bring that high school mentality, plays, different things to this level, and just go ahead and go ahead and get these kids ready for that level.
Cole, is it something that you all work to? Again, you're the feeder program for the middle school on up to the high school. Do you kind of stay on the same playbook page, kind of teaching? I know you're teaching fundamentals, but you try to get them on the page early, hoping they're going to continue on and play on the middle school and high school level.
So with the plays, a lot of it's kind of the same, but it's not entirely the same.
Sure.
Just because we're running, our base playbook is Wishbone right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, the high school doesn't run that, but we do break out and run things like zone run blocking, which the high school runs. And as far as our technique goes with the O-line primarily, the way they're blocking, what we emphasize is very similar.
Sure. So, and I got tongue-tied there, too. Thanks, Tim.
I'm sorry.
You're rubbing off on me over here. So it happens. That's the thing about doing a live broadcast, and especially early in the morning. I got to get woke up here. All right, Caden, we're going to put you on the spot as we wrap things up here. How many touchdowns you going to score today?
I'm going to at least score 30 points before half.
Oh, my goodness.
Good
You
Lord.
yourself are going to score 30 points before halftime?
It's coach gives me the ball.
Quick, put a helmet on his head. It's getting big.
Tim, we haven't mentioned all the coaches. I know you coach and Cole, but who are some of the other coaches
Okay,
as well?
so for Pee Wees, it's me, obviously. Then we have Daniel Jenkins, Michael May, and Donald Shepard. And you already went all the coaches for the...
No, so the head coach for juniors is Nathan Shepard.
Yeah.
And he does defensive coordinator, head coach. Then I'm the OC for our group. And then we have William Conrad, O-line, Will Key, O-line, as well as JV or B-team defensive coordinator. And then we also have Coach Bowen. He does O-line.
I know the one thing I was going to ask, and the question totally left my brain, and this is for either one of you. What's maybe the one most difficult thing on the field fundamentally to teach that's kind of hard for the kids to pick up on? Is there one aspect that's a little more difficult to teach than any other?
For me, especially this year, for my age group, is teaching a kid to not hit at somebody, hit through them.
Yeah.
It's when you see a kid click and they get that, it's like then they can almost do anything.
Yeah.
That's for me for age group. I don't know about Cole.
No, I would say, we could say O-line, but I think first it comes open field tackling.
Right.
And that's the reason you see so many sweeps, especially at the peewee level, junior level. And one of the things we kind of emphasize is kids want to sprint in the open field, right, Caden?
Yep.
And we got to teach them how to break down.
Yeah.
Like you're defending in basketball. We use that a lot. We got to teach them how to break down, and then we got to teach them not to close their eyes at contact.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that's a good one.
they got to have contact courage.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a big day. Again, it's the regular season finale. Playoffs start next week. How's that going to work?
I don't know yet.
Still waiting to kind of
I'm still waiting.
sort through all that?
Yeah, I don't want to say anything right now. I want to wait on that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll try to keep folks updated on the Blitz, and we'll touch base with you throughout the week and have some updates on the playoffs coming up. But good luck to y'all today. All right, Caden, one last thing. Does Tennessee beat Oklahoma tonight?
Yes.
All right.
The way.
Give us a score. Give us a score prediction.
71-0.
I like it. I like the way he thinks. 71-0.
Wow.
If they score, they had to put in an NFL player.
All
there
right.
ain't no way.
You heard it here first. He's got all kinds of confidence. I
Yeah, he
love it.
does.
I love it. Tim, Cole, Caden, thank y'all so much for joining us this morning, and good luck in all the games today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate
more
it.
to come. Stay with us. This is DC Blitz presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
Unrivaled service and practical advice from Jeff and Grant James at DeKalb County Insurance. With auto, homeowners, life and annuities, property and liability, Medicare supplement, and business policies available. Receive seriously good insurance with great coverage and prices. DeKalb County Insurance is an independent agency that shops multiple carriers, such as Erie, Allstate, Travelers, State Auto, Progressive, and many more. Call today for a quote. DeKalb County Insurance, 615-597-0660.
When closing on a new home or piece of property, you want the process to be as smooth as possible. For almost 20 years, DeKalb Title LLC has been helping new property owners in Smithville and DeKalb County through that process promptly and efficiently. As your trusted title expert and closing company, they believe buying or selling real estate should be a joyous occasion, and their team does everything possible to keep it that way. DeKalb Title works to make sure your transaction gets to the closing table and your new property is secure for years to come. Let DeKalb Title help you close and protect your residential, commercial, or new construction transaction today. Call 615-597-2303 or visit them online at DeKalbTitle.com.
Just like the excitement of the big game, life is filled with unforgettable moments. At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that when the final moment comes, you want to honor those moments with dignity and care. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding solace in a time of grief, our compassionate staff is here to provide the support you need. Trust Love Cantrell Funeral Home to guide you through with respect and professionalism. Love Cantrell Funeral Home is a proud sponsor of DeKalb County Athletics through 3 generations. At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Smithville FBC is proud to support DC Blitz and all DeKalb sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Looking for the perfect property? Town and Lake Realty and Auction is your #1 choice when it comes to DeKalb County real estate. Specializing in lakefront properties, land, and residential real estate, we offer both traditional real estate services and innovative online, live, and simulcast auctions. With over $250 million in closed volume, we're the largest locally owned brokerage firm in the area, providing superior resources, advertising, and expertise. For the best in real estate, trust Town and Lake Realty and Auction to deliver exceptional results. Discover the difference today by visiting townandlake.com or calling 615-215-7653.
Did you know that Holmes Group Incorporated is a collection of 4 different LLC businesses? These include Home Services, offering dump truck deliveries of rock, dirt, and other materials, excavation, septic pumping, porta-potty rentals, and more. Ignite HVAC Electrical and Plumbing, a full-service 24/7 train dealer for all your heating and cooling, electrical and plumbing needs. home surveillance, cutting-edge home and business security camera systems. And Tennessee Fleet, offering vinyl graphics, storefront wraps, all things imaginable in automotive accessories such as custom wheels and tires, automotive audio and aftermarket equipment, and much more. Find out more about Holmes Group and our partner businesses by visiting our website, holmesgroupinc.com, or give us a call at 615-597-6287.
Bad Boy Mowers is giving back to all those that risk their lives to protect and defend our nation. Our Bad Boys of America Zero Turns for Our Heroes program is available for a limited time at Bad Boys Nationwide Dealer Network. Qualified buyers, that's veterans, active duty military, first responders, EMTs, firefighters, and law enforcement, receive up to 25% off MSRP on all Bad Boy mower models. And some really cool Bad Boy Mower swag. Find your big boy mower at Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville. Visit them online at southernlandscapesupply.com.
DC Blitz presented by DeKalb County Insurance. Tom, Kelly, and we are going to talk about something I know nothing about, which is nothing unusual, but volleyball. We're excited to have members of the first-year DeKalb County High School volleyball team. We're going to start down at the end with Coach Kayla Johnson. Coach, good to have you this morning.
Good to be here.
We're excited about volleyball in DeKalb County. You were telling me earlier, DeKalb was actually the last school in this area to get volleyball. And it's been kind of, I guess, a first-year sort of learning curve. What's maybe one thing that most people don't know about volleyball that's essential to the game itself?
Most people believe volleyball girls just go out there, it's 6-row rotation, and it's like backyard volleyball. There's a lot more to it. These girls do rotations. They have spots that they've got to get to. You have specific positions that each person plays.
Yeah.
It's not your just, let's go in the backyard, people rotate around, hit it over, and let's have some fun. There's a lot more to it, and the mental aspect is a major component.
Now, Kelly's going to get kind of more into the nuts and bolts of things, but the players that you've had, have they really just bought in, and did they have any experience, any of them kind of coming into this in volleyball?
So we have a total of 13 players. Mm-hmm. Only 4 have ever played before.
Wow.
So we are comprised of 3 seniors, 3 juniors, 3 sophomores, and 4 freshmen. And 2 seniors have played before. No. 2 seniors, 1 junior, and 1 sophomore. And that's it. Everybody else has never played. So we came a long way. One
thing that you mentioned to me earlier, and I've heard this from other people, a lot of people that see DeKalb County say they can't believe this is a very first-year program, and I think that says a lot about the job that everybody's doing.
It does. For us to be able to come out and compete, for us to be able to serve receive, get our serves, we have girls that are able to do aces, which means when we serve the ball over the net, they're not able to receive the ball, and we get points that way. To be able to do those things for a first-year program, we didn't even start until July. It's just September. So in such a very short period, for them to be able to accomplish the things that they've had is pretty remarkable.
That is remarkable. Kelly, I know you've got a better understanding of the game than I do, and you've got some good questions to serve up, so to speak.
Well, we'll get in. I have taught a little girl that goes to my church is from Watertown, and I tried to get out to the Watertown game, and I think we had the football game and something else going on. I didn't make it out. But she was talking about, she was very complimentary, in which I've heard other teams be very complimentary of how well y'all are doing. And she said, she's like, they're going to be good. She was like, it's their first year. They're going to be good. And I said, well, what was the one thing you saw? And she said, communication. So speaking on that is from when I watched it in college. That was the main thing our college players would talk about is like, you got to communicate. You got to know where your teammates are. Has that been something they're getting better at? Is that something they need to work on? What are your thoughts on that?
So we have our moments.
We all do.
We all do. It's been the girls learning each other, who works well together, us as coaches, Coach Horton and I, learning, who's going to gel well. But they do communicate pretty good. They have their little moments, but when time's needed, they communicate, they work together. It's a big floor, so it doesn't look as big, but when you've got girls out there, you're trying to block, you're trying to cover tips, and you've got the long ones, it's them working together to communicate, hey, I've got your back. I've got back here, you focus on up there.
I coach basketball, and I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, I need you talking. I said, if you say the wrong thing, I can fix that. I can coach that. Has that been something that you've had to do as well? Like
Yes.
say the wrong thing and we can fix what you're saying.
Yes, we are preaching basics. We are not going out here. If you have watched Stone, Cumberland, Upperman, we'll talk those three. They do all the fancy stuff. They're great at it. They have amazing hitters, all the things. We want our girls, and we preach it. We do basics: pass, set, either pass it, hit it. We're doing the basic stuff. Don't get caught up in their fanciness. Communicate effectively, and we're just fine.
Have you seen that? In some ways, that has helped you be competitive in that because you're not doing the fancy things. Sometimes teams are used to the fancy things, and when you go back to the basic things, they don't know how to handle it.
Well, we've had some aha moments this season because we've not done some of the hitting, and we pass the ball, and they're prepared for the hit, and the ball drops on their side because they're not prepared for just a basic pass. And the girls have turned around and looked at Coach Horton, and they're like, okay.
Yeah. So, who is? I know there's a libero. I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Yes, ma'am, a libero.
I know most of the time they would just the girls in college, but it's a defensive specialist. Who is that for your team?
That would be Miss Rylee right there.
So, Rylee, is this your? Are you one of the ones that have played volleyball before?
Yes, ma'am.
So you had a good understanding of what libero. Tell us a little bit about your position and what you have to do in that position.
So my position is I wear a different color jersey than everyone else.
Yes.
And I'm supposed to get more of the first hits. That way everybody else can focus on hitting or setting. That way it takes the pressure off them. So I usually get like the hits that come over on serve receive and just basically getting and like the tips and stuff. I get all the wild balls.
You're on the floor a lot.
Yes.
You're on the floor a lot digging stuff. And like she said, she'll be wearing the different color jersey. I know I've had kids ask, since y'all started this, my kids in PE are like playing volleyball. My boys are as much as the girls. I'm not sure that I'm going to send you too much next year. Give me a few years, but they're they're at least learning. We're learning the serve. I'm teaching underhand serve just because as far as PE, that gets it over the net and that gets them playing. But what position do you play, Avery?
Setter.
So you're a setter. Mm-hmm. How do you like that position?
I love it. It's pretty easy. All you got to do is get the ball to the hitter. So
now, do you have plays that y'all work on? Do you have a certain person that you're always trying to get it to?
Yes, we mostly try to get it to one of the seniors, Lydia or Victoria, because they have the most experience on hitting. Mm-hmm. So they most likely adjust and all that stuff. So
how well do you and the libero work together?
I say we work pretty well. We're always right beside each other, so it's kind of like I'll run up to the front, she'll pass it to me, and it'll be just.
So you're liking it, and I know we have Millie. I'm assuming Millie is a hitter or a blocker.
Yes.
Because she's tall.
Oh,
she don't have to get up too high because she's already up above the net most of the times. Millie, what are some things that you are enjoying about volleyball?
I really enjoy getting like a really good block in and stuff, and whenever I get a good hit, it's really nice.
But you have to have the setter to hit you up for the hit. You have to be in the right position, correct?
Yeah. Most of the time I'm not in the right position.
Now, is that your fault or her fault?
It's my fault.
This is your one chance to throw that senior under the bus.
No, she's a good setter.
That's awesome.
My fault.
Do you have a setting? Do you have a blocking partner, or are you usually blocking by yourself?
I'm usually blocking by myself.
So are you the height of the team? You haven't recruited any other height? You got to stretch some.
Well, Lydia, our senior, is pretty tall.
She's pretty tall.
Yeah.
Who else plays? Now, there's a front line and a back line, correct? But you have to know a rotation. How hard was it to learn the rotation?
It wasn't that hard because I'm just on the net the whole time blocking.
Do you ever get subbed out for?
Yeah, whenever I go to back row, Rylee comes in for me.
Okay. Can you talk about do y'all know when you're going to go in, or does the coach have to tell you?
I know when I'm supposed to go in.
We practice rotations. They know who they're paired with. We do change it up some, but they pretty much know who they're paired with, who is our front row players, who's our back row players. Going back to Millie, though, on her blocking and hitting, she is adjusting well on reading when the ball's coming over and trying to hit it back. We are working on her with that because she is so tall.
Yes.
If she could just get a little bit more confidence and going, hey, I can do this, and get a little meanness, she's so sweet. And when she gets something right, we love all of her facial expressions. We absolutely love it.
How, speaking of the rotation, how hard was that to teach the girls? Because I would feel like that would be the biggest mental part. Because I know the back line can't hit past is it 6 foot or 4 foot line? 6 foot?
10 foot.
10 foot. So you have to stay behind the 10 foot line. How hard was it to get them to realize?
The only person that tries to go in front of that 10-foot line and hit is right there. She thinks she is taller than what she is. If she had Millie's height, it'd be, now this one right here, when she's back row setter, y'all know the little red man on
Anger from Sadness?
Yes,
Inside Out, that is her.
This is her. When she goes up to the net and she can't tip it, she can't she can't block and stuff on the net because she's a back row. And so she goes up sometimes and she's like,
her whole face turns bright red.
I have grown up with her mom. She gets it honest. And I'm sure her mini me, Jordan, is just like her.
Yes.
How is having the sisters on the team? Are they two that gel well together, or are they two you got to keep off the floor at the same time?
They are actually on the floor at the same time. Avery does set Jordan up. Jordan's come a long way on her hitting. We have 2 freshmen that are doing very well as Millie. Well, we have three freshmen that have stepped up tremendously. We have Sophie Adcock, Jordan Agee, and Millie Barton, and they are who we kind of count on to block. Sophie and Millie, I would say Sophie is kind of in the lead as far as like actual blocks in, and Sophie's right there behind her. Jordan's getting it because they can read the ball where they play sports. That's one of the biggest things. If you've got kids that have played sports and are athletic, you can teach them what to do. Now, are we going to be able to accomplish all in a short season? No. But our goal is to give them all those basic and fundamentals so next year coming in, we can do what we need to do.
So you don't have very much longer in your season. How much longer do you have?
We got about 2 weeks left.
2 weeks. So after when districts and regions, what are your and Coach Horton's game plan for next year?
So we have to double check our TWSAA guidelines of like what we can and cannot do because it is different than other sports because basketball's going on, then softball's going on. So I think if we have read it right, we can't even start anything until like May. And we can't even start full practice until June again. So you're right back to you have them pretty much from June to September to October. I apologize. So I mean that's it.
Do any of your girls play the travel?
No, none of ours play travel because we have basketball, we have softball, we have tennis. Do we have any other sports, girls? I think that's it.
Golf and
we have one
spring.
that plays golf. Yes, I think we have one that plays golf. But I mean, they've all got their own. They're constantly doing something. Everybody is doing something.
Now, with your short season, and I'm asking this as a mom of a kid that is like in love with volleyball right now. Are y'all going to try to do something where you bring in some of the younger ones and start introducing it as far as like a camp during the summer?
So that would definitely be a goal. We were thinking about doing that this summer, but there were so many things that we had to do that it just was not realistic. Coach Horton and I's goal is to get a middle school program going up because if we don't have a middle school program, we don't have a feeder program, it's not, I mean, look at junior pro right now. Why is the high school doing, I mean, they have good coaches, but the high school is doing as good as it is because you have kids that parents invest so much time in to get them to where they need to be. So we've got to have a feeder program. Coach and I know
we're
that.
lobbying for Kelly to start a
I'm trying to get out of coaching.
Miss Kelly, we will support you, honey. We will support you.
Nope.
I think she'd be a great candidate for that, actually. So we're
I haven't. Okay, then I will not. Do you know when they all play? They play Saturday. So
that's
you're
true.
kicking me out of
all right,
this job.
never mind.
So.
We can't afford to lose Kelly because she's the only one that can talk volleyball on the show.
But as far as parents, we do have Madison Cross is offering volleyball lessons. So I would like to let anybody know that reach out to her. She is offering volleyball lessons. She has played. She knows the game. So I would encourage there. There are places in not Clarksville, Lord have mercy, Cookeville. Yeah, don't drive all the way to Clarksville. That's too long. But Cookeville and in Murfreesboro, that if anybody wants to go and do that. We kept a small group this year because we wanted to focus. Next year we probably will keep a few more girls for depth. We have 3 hurt right now.
So you're playing with 10.
We're playing with 10, and we're going to make the best of it, honey.
What's a typical size roster for most high school volleyball program? Is there a standard size or?
Well, there are some schools that have a freshman team, a JV team, and a varsity team, and they have 28. We did see one group that had 35, and then we had seen one group that had 10. So it varies. It varies by your school, but you look at Putnam County, they have, and Cumberland County, they have such big rosters because they have so many high schools.
Sure.
We have one.
Right.
Like, we were blessed though. We had 57 girls come try out. We had more than any sport out here.
That's awesome.
I do want to say though that we, I do want to give a little shout out before I forget it to Patrick Cripps, the school board, everybody that sponsored us, everybody that has backed us and allowed us to start this program. Coach Horton and I are very, very thankful for that, to be able to bring a first-year program so that these girls have an opportunity to fall in love with the sport. So Rylee is my child, and she absolutely loves the sport. So we wanted to bring something that other kids would enjoy too.
Well, and this is a sport, it's kind of like softball. You can play this. I can remember when my husband and I first started dating, we went to Defeated and played in the sand ones against, it's just kind of a pickup. But we enjoyed doing that as, adults. And volleyball is a sport that you can play. It's kind of like it's not as low key as pickleball, but it's the same. You don't have to be super athletic to play, like you said, backyard volleyball. And these girls, I'm super proud of them for sticking with it and having smiles on their faces and not being, because I know one of them is super competitive. And for her to, I've talked to her a couple times, and she kept saying, she's like, well, we're not winning, but we're getting better. And a positive attitude goes a long way, especially from a senior. But my last question I have, you may have some more questions. What has been your favorite moment so far? We'll start with Rylee. So far in this season, like, is it a dig you had, a hit you had, something memorable from your first season?
Probably the amount of improvement that we've had and the positive attitudes.
All right, Millie.
My blocks.
Your blocks?
Yeah, that's really.
Who'd you have a big block against? One you can remember.
I think it was Livingston, maybe.
She had an awesome one against Cumberland County that even they were shocked that she did.
Awesome. Avery?
I would probably say we improve a lot. And I'm so proud of it. We could give up. We're at 0-21. But we are never down, and we always want to improve more on anything. So that's probably what.
Are you still having fun?
Oh yes, everyone's having fun.
And you're learning.
Yes.
And for you as a senior, that has to be. It has to be kind of heartbreaking because you don't get another year. But you see in your sister, you're investing that she's going to get 4 years of it, and that these other kids are going to be. And when Coach Bond started softball, they weren't successful, but there's 3 or 4 pictures in the gym, and at some point you can say I was the beginning of that. Of that first team that started it, and when they go to the state tournament and stuff, you can be like, I helped bring that up.
Yeah, it's an opportunity just to be on this team. I wish I would have had 4 years, and I wish they would have done it quicker. But just for this year, my last year, it's a good way to go out of this high school.
That's awesome.
So Avery had an accomplishment. I want to say this. Our very first match ever in our gym, Avery was the first person to serve and scored the first point on the first serve for us.
Awesome.
So that was a big deal for us. We served first that game, and we got to put the first official point on the board. So that was pretty cool to be able to do that.
They should have called the game at that point.
Took pictures and confetti and took 15 minutes to clean the floor, and then the other team would have been out of.
How's the crowd support been?
Oh, really good. Yes.
Good.
Just for the first year team, I feel like every time people come up to me, I'm enjoying it just watching it. So it's It's really good.
That's good, and I've got to get myself. I think Tuesday's the last home match. Is that correct? If my schedule's correct.
I believe so.
Stone Memorial coming. No, Warren County. I take it back. October 3rd is the. Yep, you're right.
Oh yeah, and that will also be our senior night where we will recognize our seniors.
Okay.
But you were talking about audience, and it's pretty nice when you look out in the stands as coaches, and we look out and we see young girls.
Yeah.
And we look at them and we like, this is why look at the positive that you're having. There's so many young little girls that are coming. When I say young, 5, 6 years old, all the way up to middle school, and it's so nice to see that.
That's fantastic, and I want to see this program grow. I hope we do get a middle school program at some point, and love what y'all are doing. You're the foundation. I mean, you're the start, and we love what you're doing, and good luck the rest of the season. You're going to get a win before it's over, I know. I feel it, and we're certainly pulling for you. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. Coach Kayla Johnson, Avery Agee, Millie Barton, and Rylee Wilbur all joining us today. Talking some volleyball, Kelly, great job.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to come back and put the wraps on today's episode with the announcement of this week's Good Health Family Clinic Student Athlete of the Week. This is DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
It seems like the cost of everything is on the rise, but Erie Insurance can help make sure your auto insurance premium isn't one of them. Avoid rate increases with Erie Rate Lock. Even if you have a claim, your rates won't go up until you change a car, driver, or address.
Your Erie agent is DeKalb County Insurance. Get a quote today at DeKalbInsurance.net.
Erie Rate Lock is not available in all states. Other conditions and limitations at ErieInsurance.com. Go to ErieInsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
At Home Services, we work with both residential and commercial properties to provide many services, specializing in dump truck delivery of rock, dirt, and other materials, driveways and parking lots, excavation, finish grading of yards, erosion control, snow removal, and more. Plus, septic tank installation, repair, septic tank pumping, and porta potty rentals. Learn more by visiting our website at homeservicestn.com or give us a call at 615-597-6287.
At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that this life is a journey filled with highs and lows. Just as every game has its final whistle, so too does every life have its final moment. When that time comes, Love Cantrell Funeral Home would love the opportunity to earn your trust. We provide compassionate care and professional services to fit your family's financial needs. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding comfort in the time of sudden loss, we're here to support you every step of the way. Love Cantrell Funeral Home has been a proud sponsor of all DeKalb County athletics for over 65 years. Love Cantrell Funeral Home, where love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
When closing on a new home or piece of property, you want the process to be as smooth as possible. For almost 20 years, DeKalb Title LLC has been helping new property owners in Smithville and DeKalb County through that process promptly and efficiently. As your trusted title expert and closing company, they believe buying or selling real estate should be a joyous occasion, and their team does everything possible to keep it that way. DeKalb Title works to make sure your transaction gets to the closing table and your new property is secure for years to come. Let DeKalb Title help you close and protect your residential, commercial, or new construction transaction today. Call 615-597-2303 or visit them online at DeKalbTitle.com.
Smithville FBC is proud to support DC Blitz and all DeKalb sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Bad Boy Mowers' legendary reputation for strength, performance, and value is now available with Bad Boy tractors. From mid-size to subcompact models powered by 22 to 35 horsepower water-cooled diesel engines, your tractor work just got real easy. On the farm, the ranch, or even around the house, Bad Boy tractors deliver power and durability all day, every day. Bad Boy tractors work with an attitude. Find your big boy tractor at Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville. Visit them online at thesouthernlandscapesupply.com.
Looking for the perfect property? Town and Lake Realty and Auction is your #1 choice when it comes to DeKalb County real estate. Specializing in lakefront properties, land, and residential real estate, we offer both traditional real estate services and innovative online, live, and simulcast auctions. With over $250 million in closed volume, We're the largest locally owned brokerage firm in the area, providing superior resources, advertising, and expertise. For the best in real estate, trust Town and Lake Realty and Auction to deliver exceptional results. Discover the difference today by visiting townandlake.com or calling 615-215-7653.
Since 2015, Vitality Fit has had a passion to help any individual at many different stages in their fitness journey reach the level of health and wellness that they desire. With the multiple different services we now offer, from group training to personal training to even nutrition, you can find a service that best fits you and your goals. We have a speed and agility camp coming up August 17th through September 22nd for middle school and high school athletes to enhance their on-field performance. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram or our website, vitalityfittn.com, or you can reach us by email, vitalityfit.tc@gmail. We'd love to hear from you, and we want to help you reach your fitness goals.
It is DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance, sponsored by DeKalb County Insurance, of course, Southern Landscape Supply, Love Cantor Funeral Home, Town and Lake Realty and Auction, Smithfield First Baptist Church, Holmes Group Incorporated, DeKalb Title, and Vitality Fit. Tom, Kelly, and Chris back to wrap things up here, and you did great on that interview. I still don't know a whole lot about volleyball, but I know a little more than I did.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I learned a lot about football this week, so now y'all can learn a lot about volleyball.
I do like the program. I think, any program you can add that, gives student athletes a chance. And again, I always go back to, you get a chance to further your education. If you're, if you're good enough, you have a chance. Scholarships are out there. Coach, we used to talk about that with golf. I mean, there's opportunities out there, but it gets kids involved in something that they may not, have. Maybe they can't play basketball, or maybe they can't play softball. It's a different sport. I love it, and I think it's really going to take off here in DeKalb County.
I feel like it will. I don't know what the middle school numbers look like. Our numbers at the West School, our girls, we're just very boy heavy in 6th, 7th, and 8th right now, and so I feel like this only requires a few to play.
Yeah.
Where softball's 8, basketball you really need 10. And you need 10 that can play. And so I feel like this is going to be one of those sports that does take off, especially if you ever get a junior high program. And I was talking to Coach Johnson, when I was in high school, Coach Foster, during the preseason, when you couldn't do anything with a basketball, we were playing volleyball for the jumping and for the moving and rotating and talking to one another and learning things like that. And we was talking about, she was saying, if you can play a sport, if you're athletic, you can play volleyball. And I think from what I've heard from other coaches and other teams that they've played, it's just, I don't want to say cleaning up some things, but just putting a run together. It's kind of like, basketball. You got to put 4 or 5 scores together and not have a mistake. Same thing, kind of in football. And I think they have a mental mistake sometimes that ends up costing them. I think they've been really close to winning some matches, and just lack of experience.
Right.
But, I think, like with someone like Avery having a positive attitude, them still being happy even though they haven't won all year is a win.
Yeah.
That's a win.
Sure.
I mean, it's a win for the program. It's a win for the coaches. Nobody is... if everybody says when you're winning, everything's good.
Yeah.
But when you're losing and everybody is still smiling, that's a win.
Sure.
With any sport.
And you got to start somewhere.
Yes.
And, you're not going to walk out there usually and set the world on fire in a new venture like this, but the right people are in place. You could tell Coach Kayla, and I know Coach Danielle, she gave up softball, the head coaching job, to be the coach of volleyball. She just dedicated to it that much. That says a lot about how much they believe in this program. And, again, I want to see it grow. Coach, you have had a chance to take in some matches, and what's been your impression so far?
Kelly talks about, lack of experience and that type of thing it shows, and keeping runs together. And I was just kind of thinking, okay, you can have a lot of unforced errors like you would in tennis.
Sure.
It's just a mishit. It's something that's completely, a brain lapse.
Yeah.
I just did not communicate.
Muscle
I
memory.
didn't go after something. You'll see an unforced turnover, a giveaway off of a serve.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you expect to where you can score some points and keep that string going. But if I put it right in the net or if I hit it too far out of bounds, then I'm just giving a point and flipping the ball back over to the opponent. So it is a very athletic team that I've heard it and that I've seen. I've seen that athleticism out on the floor. I've seen the improvement from the first time they played Cannon County to the last time they played Cannon County. Coach Stacy at Cannon was talking about how much DeKalb's girls has improved from the first time around. Matter of fact, the JV beat Cannon's JV that night, and I think that was their first even win of a game, let alone a match for the season. So it is a program that's getting better. It's one of those that you can gauge from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And, you know, when you start taking over this middle school program and start digging in all that.
We can't lose her on Saturday, Coach.
Look, I'm trying to retire from coaching.
See, varsity high school plays on Saturday, so JV or middle school is going to have to play during the week
like
or
a
something.
Thursday or something.
Yeah, you know, so.
You were right, Coach.
Yeah.
I didn't
You
think
know,
about it.
I've thought this through, so.
Yeah. Then if you've thought it through, I will sign you up. I got a gym you can use. I got some nets.
You flipped that quickly,
We'll
didn't you?
figure it out because you have more free time than I do. Your children are grown. I'm still today was going, I got to get one to practice and I got to get one here. And I was like,
Hey, I've got a grandson at home right now.
well.
Yep.
But he's not sporting. He's not sporting yet. You still got about 4 years before he's sporting.
We got a busy week coming up as far as the schedule goes in DeKalb County sports. Monday starts the golf district tournament. I know that's near and dear to you, Coach. You've been to many of those, and you know, the boys' team, as we know, they've gotten better throughout the course of the season. The girls' team that has a chance to go a long, long way. They've been spending some time tuning up in the last few days. In fact, I think they're playing some practice rounds even today. Going into the district tournament, what's the one maybe piece of advice that you always gave your teams once the postseason got started?
I didn't follow it, but you know, it is Deer Creek. It's over in Crossville, and I was talking with Coach Pryor last night, and he's very complimentary of his three girls. He's very optimistic that they will be able to do well, and hopefully, I think they're the leaders going into the clubhouse, you know, and that sort of thing. But Grant touched on this a couple of weeks ago, that his mind wasn't exactly in the right place for their senior year in the region.
Yeah.
And what mental lapse that you have could cost you a stroke or two here, and then that cost your team a slot in the state tournament. So I think that's one of his concerns, is just the mental preparation going into that. The skill level's there.
Sure.
But shot after shot, stroke after stroke, can I move on from a bad shot? Mm-hmm. Can I make a good decision in a tough situation? And that sort of thing. Boys, I think he's a little more realistic that they've got a pretty good team, but maybe not a team that's going to be able to move on beyond. So I think he's looking for real good placement. Not that they can't, because anything can happen in a golf match. You know, just kind of trust me. But I said that I did not follow this because the first night or the night before the state tournament every year, I always wrote a personal note to all of my players. Mm-hmm. And I gave that to them at our final meal that night, and you were told, don't even open this until you get back in your room and start mentally preparing for this. And I heard back that, well, I couldn't play golf after I read that, you know, that sort of thing. So, you know, yes, mental focus is going to be as much as important as their ability to strike a golf ball.
All right, so that the postseason run for golf begins Monday, as you mentioned, Deer Creek over in Crossville. They'll tee off at 9 o'clock. Lady Tiger Volleyball Monday will be at Upperman Tuesday. Lady Saints Soccer go on the road for their final regular season match at Jackson County. Volleyball will be home. A good opportunity for you to get out and see volleyball if you've not yet. They take on Stone Memorial at 5 o'clock. Lady Tiger soccer team will be home also on Tuesday to play Smith County at 6 o'clock. We'll have all the listings of this upcoming week's games coming up on the Blitz Facebook page. We'll have that posted tomorrow morning. DMS Tennis will be in Murfreesboro to play a match coming up on Thursday. We was hoping to have Coach Chad Ramsey today, but he had a family situation come up and was unable to make it today. Also, we hope to have Evelyn Torres this morning, but the trophy shop where we're getting our plaques made decided to close early yesterday after telling us they would be there, and we sent somebody over to pick our awards up, and they were closed. So maybe looking for a new trophy shop after that. But anyway, we'll have Evelyn next week. And Chloe Boyd will also be joining us as we'll present those awards. Speaking of which, we need to announce this week's Good Health Family Clinic Student Athlete of the Week. We have 3 nominees. The coaches make the nominees. We do an online vote. I finally figured out how to put a poll on Facebook finally. Had to go through a third party, of course, but we got it on there this week. And the nominees were Madeline Martin of DeKalb County High School football cheerleading, Jordan Parker for a second week in a row at DeKalb County High School football, and Lucas Cable was nominated for DMS cross country. With all the votes tallied this week, Jordan Parker will be the Good Health Family Clinic Student Athlete of the Week. And man, what a season. I know we talk about this about every week, but Coach, I know we've watched him about every week this season, and he's just putting up some video game-like numbers and having a great year for the Tiger football team.
It really was. 2 weeks ago, 350 yards probably at least, 250 on the ground himself with like 18 or 19 touches. Last night he had 4 touchdown passes to different receivers, still racked up about 81 yards on the ground and leading the DeKalb County Tigers to a 5-0 season. Congratulations to Jordan Parker.
Absolutely, and they got a big game, as we mentioned, coming up Friday against Stone Memorial. Some other schedule highlights to throw out there. Volleyball will be at Cumberland County coming up on Thursday. Middle school tennis team will be back in Murfreesboro for a match on Thursday. Thursday is going to be a big day in DeKalb County sports. Lady Tigers soccer, they will have their senior night as they host Watertown. Thursday at 6 o'clock, of course, the middle school football team taking on Avery Trace, and we may have the broadcast here on DC Blitz, an announcement coming up on that by the first of the week. Football on Friday night and, of course, Saturday morning, DC Blitz. Next week we'll have members of the Lady Saints soccer team to join us. Casey needs to get excited over there, y'all.
I don't know how he still has a voice.
I can't even think. He's just so excited. He's just blurring out my thought process
Lavonda is just happy he's doing it here and not at the house.
Well, you never know. He may have to practice while he's at home. We will have the DeKalb County High School football cheerleaders. Some of them will be joining us next week and still working on some ins and outs of next week's show and where we're going to be. We got to work on that as well. So if you want to host DC Blitz, holler at us. We may come out to your establishment and do a show live there. We're open to that, especially if you'll feed us.
You don't need to feed us.
No, well, that's optional, but we'll take it.
It's not a requirement.
Definitely not a requirement. Want to thank our producer, Daniel Leslie. Want to thank all of our guests for joining us today. Any final thoughts as we wrap it up from the VanHooser Stadium?
No, I will put a plug in. I'm gonna put a plug in for volleyball, and I'm gonna challenge all of y'all. Go out and support these girls. No, they may not win, but they will remember you coming to their game. I can remember, and I cannot think of their names right now. I'm just drawing a blank. But they were 2 twins. They always sit on the front row. They came to like every basketball games. They were older gentlemen. They were in the war.
Sat right behind the press box.
The Frazier brothers.
Mr. Edsel,
The Frazier brothers came to like every home game.
They sure did.
And every time, win or lose, they shook my hand. They told me that I did a good job. And guys, this is what we're about. We're wanting to highlight our kids of DeKalb County, and you have to go out and support them. I know we're putting stuff online. I was so grateful we did the football game. I think we had like 50 or 60 people watching, and that was great for those people that could not come.
Yes.
But for those kids that are spending hours practicing, this may be it. Like high school sports may be their last sporting thing they do. And send them out with, we've got so much going on within our school system, within our world of negative. Send them out on a positive, and all you have to do is show up and support them. It'll cost you maybe $5. It'll help the program, but support goes a long ways, and you'll never know what kind of memory you're going to make for those kids.
Absolutely. Coach?
Reach out to us. I don't know all the avenues that you can get in touch with us, but reach out to us. Tell us what you're liking about our program, what we're doing on this podcast, things that you'd like to see on this podcast, and let us know, first of all, where you're from. Are you watching and following us locally, or are you global? I mean, where are you? But please give us a lot of feedback, positive or negative. We just want to make this show better. We want to highlight these athletes in DeKalb County. And, I mean, that's what our job is. That's what we do.
Chelsea Shaw says, how many likes to get Tom in a Vandy shirt? Not enough. There's
Chelsea,
no
I
number.
will make him wear it if you get the likes.
There is no amount of numbers out there.
No, don't say that. Don't say never.
I will say this. I will wear a Vandy jersey long before I wear an Alabama one.
There you go. So don't say never.
Okay.
But you can be bought.
I can be bought, yes. I can be bought for sure. But we may have to come up with something I don't know. We'll have to come up with something creative for that to
We
ever happen.
No, that could happen. It's just black and gold. It's just, guys, it's just.
If it doesn't have a V on it.
Yeah.
Or a star, I mean, it's okay.
It's just black and gold. It won't hurt you, I promise.
I'll wear the colors.
I have wore orange before, and that's not my favorite color.
Gaudy orange or just any orange?
Any orange.
We do want to thank people, and as Coach was saying, avenues to reach out. We do have a Facebook page, of course, DC Blitz. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram now. And, of course, we have a YouTube channel. You can go and watch past episodes.
What is it? Like, subscribe?
Like, subscribe, all that whatever, mash the button stuff. I'm getting old. I don't know all the lingo.
I don't know if my kids say that when they're recording their stuff. They're like and subscribe.
We even have email, if anybody still does that, dcblitzsports@gmail.com. You can reach out, contact us. But like Coach said, let us know what you like, what you don't like. Give us suggestions. We're here to cover DeKalb County sports, and that's what we're trying to do and doing the best we can. And hopefully you are enjoying it. All right, again for our producer, Daniel Leslie, for the coach, Chris Vance, for Kelly, I'm Tom. We'll see you next week on The Blitz.